All right. Last thing for me, you guys forced me to. This is such a difficult. This is tough. I mean, it's just difficult, Will.
Why is it difficult? Tell me.
I don't know, because we talked about the fact that we're going to go see Joker, and we did go see Joker. When was that? Yesterday?
Yes.
We saw Joker yesterday. Took the day off work. Everybody, we just took a day as a team, and we went to see Joker.
Yes.
And of course, you guys said you got to talk about it, because you told the people you're going to go watch it, you got to talk about it. But the problem is, first of all, we talked about it a lot yesterday. And second of all, it is tough to condense down into something, into a package, into a clip, let's say, on this show, a very complicated movie, topic, time in the world that gave birth to this movie. It's just so complex. And of course, there was a tremendous amount of nuance to the conversation yesterday, but a difficult conversation to have in the one-way stream of thought that you're capable of delivering through this camera lens on YouTube. Very difficult thing to talk about. There have been so many hot takes, so many articles written. There's been people that have given their own reviews. IMDb, 9 out of 10, 200,000 reviews. People love it. Critics, not necessarily. A difficult movie about difficult topics. Is it a full spoiler situation? Do I spoil it? Do I talk about anything that happened? Okay, Joker. Spoiler alert, it's right now. It's a DC movie about a DC character. A character of comic book origin. For the most part, as far as I know, is always a side character, is always a villain. There's always a main role occupied by a hero. That doesn't happen in this movie.
No.
Joker is the hero in this movie. And it's a very difficult thing to come to grips with as a movie goer, that you leave unresolved. You leave in the state of evil, in the state of chaos, let's say. You leave in the mental state of the character Joker, because there is no resolution. Spoiler alert. I'm spoiling everything. I guess if you're watching this clip with the spoiler alert, you already saw it, or you don't care to see it. So,
right.
I mean, how many spoiler alerts can you put in? This is an origin story of Joker, the character. And we know a lot about this character if you're familiar with the Batman stuff that existed before it. If you saw Dark Knight specifically, you understand this whole chaos order situation, the representation, the need for the existence of both Joker and Batman as both sides, as the balance that they need one another. They cover it in that movie, and almost every time the Joker appears. In this movie, no balance. The presentation of Bruce Wayne, so minimal. Mm-hmm. It's such a minimal presentation. A little child, really insignificant in the scope of the film. This is a film, a huge film, $100 million plus film, where the villain is the hero. Mm-hmm. In a comic book sense. From a comic book origin, it's unprecedented. As far as I know, at this scale, there was a comic book. This was loosely kind of based on The Killing Game.
The Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke. Which would have been one of those rare cases, I guess, where this was, where some of the inspiration for this particular movie would have been born. But otherwise, this is a rare occurrence, and it's an uneasy thing. It's rare for me, I said this earlier, to see a movie that I really appreciate, a movie that I think is good, a movie that I think is well done, a movie that I think is probably a masterpiece that I don't really like. Do you see how conflicting that is? And the reason you don't like it has nothing to do with the movie itself. It has to do with what you think it means or how you think it might be perceived. I think for the wrong person, it could be a dangerous movie to watch. That's a controversial opinion. People say none of this stuff has an effect on anyone. People say video game violence, leave it. That doesn't make a killer. I don't think it makes a killer either. But I watch a movie like this and I see the elevation of this particular character, and I say to myself, how are you supposed to receive that? This guy was hard done by. He was treated terribly, and he wanted to treat other people terribly. And you can imagine why that might be the case. You can imagine why you would want to act that way. You can imagine why you would want to burn everything down had you found yourself in a similar life position, philosophically. You can understand that point of view. And this movie exists to help you understand that point of view if you can't. To put you in that place. And it does so incredibly effectively. If you need a checks and balances system for your life, for your current state of mind, for your position, you can watch something like this and potentially appreciate that more.
Right.
You can watch something like this and maybe change the way that you treat people. It all depends what you want to take from it, really.
It's subjective.
But that's art, really.
Yeah.
That's art. I think the difference for me and the reason, if this was an art film and it wasn't positioned as a superhero connection whatsoever, and it wasn't the scale that it is, in other words, it wasn't so popular,
Like an indie flick.
If it was just an indie flick, I feel like it would be easier to receive it correctly. It would be easier to make sense of it.
Right.
The problem here is it comes in the existence of this comic book world, which typically presents you with balance. This movie has no balance, just chaos.
Yeah.
It is 2 hours of chaos, and 2 hours and 2 minutes. And the celebration of chaos.
Right.
Which is an uncomfortable concept. Granted, I understand the purpose. I understand that if we are to feel the mind of an individual like that, a downtrodden, depressed, potentially mentally ill individual, then we're going to give you 2 hours of that. We're not going to give you the resolution because the individual in that state of mind doesn't get resolution. It's never resolved for them. Mm-hmm. The feeling of life for that individual continues like that. When he encounters various individuals who he feels have done him wrong, he has one solution for that. Mm-hmm. His resolution becomes there's only one path. There's only one path for his resolution, which is to end the other individual. Mm-hmm. There is no talking. There is no compromise. There is no conversation about potentially changing your ways.
Right.
Or embracing or understanding where he's coming from. His communication method becomes more chaos and more violence. Look, I get it all. I get every single take on it. Do I think that it should have been made? Absolutely. I think this is a sign of the times. I think it's a thing. I think it's a movie that's about right now. I think it's a movie that it aims to make sense of some of the craziness that we experience in the news, some of the sentiment around the noise on the internet and the communities that exist, and the powerful and those that feel powerless. It's very right now, this movie, but it's also the past. Obviously inspired by films like Taxi Driver, which played with these subjects once upon a time. I remember watching that film a bunch of times.
Yeah. And this movie was based in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know,
difficult topics are going to be difficult to watch. And there's no way around it. There was no way to wrap this one up with a bow tie. And to be honest, I'm happy they didn't. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that they attempted to portray it in this accurate fashion. I suppose the message that I'll put out, and I don't know if anyone else is I just hope that people are able to imagine the alternative philosophical viewpoint while they're embracing this trip down this chaotic path. That you are capable of filling in the missing piece, the balance that would normally exist in this form of narrative. There is no balance here. You must bring the balance when you watch this. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of responsibility for the viewer, and I hope people appreciate that. I hope people take that seriously. It's a serious thing. It's some heavy subject matter. But because of the superhero aspect, I feel like people are going to interact with it that aren't looking at it through that degree of severity.
Right.
They're just going to go, it's Joker, it's the Batman universe. Of course I have to see it.
Right.
But it really, the Batman component, where was Batman?
Yeah.
They ain't no Batman. It's not even like, it's not even the Batman equivalent on the flip side, because all Batman movies need the Joker. This Joker movie did not need Batman.
Yeah. There needs to be a yin-yang balance.
That's what you normally look for. You want to make him the main character. Okay, that's one thing. Look, I'm glad they made it the way they made it. They wanted to give you 2 hours of chaos. They wanted the average person to experience 2 hours of chaos, zero resolution. But I'm telling you, that's the way you leave the movie theater. You leave the movie theater chaotic, without resolution, as you should, so that you can better imagine the mindset, the thought process, the potential life experiences, the potential bad roll of the dice that could lead an individual down this chaotic path. Mm-hmm. So that maybe that could alter the way that you interact with the world, your own personal philosophy. But I hope people recognize that this isn't it. In life,
right?
That ain't the way it has to go. That's all. I'm just going to put my own little piece on the end of this to say, I hope that's the way you view it as an individual. That's all. I don't have to tell you you do what you want to do.
Yes.
Take it how you want to take it. But it doesn't have to go that way. As cool as that was at the end, I mean, this dude on the car,
yeah,
chaos, cheering for more chaos. It doesn't have to go that way. It's never too late. You
have the ability to change.
You can still be a hero. You can still be a hero. He did. You can still be a hero. That's all. I don't know.
On that note, though.
Uh-oh.
Just bringing it to a lighter side. Joaquin's performance.
Oh. As a movie, as a technical delivery of images and sound.
Todd Phillips.
Oh, my God. I was lost. I was gone for 2 hours. You can probably tell based on this talk.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of movies, I should also say. People are like, man, why are you being so serious? Like, geez, chill out.
You don't even go to the theater.
You just saw a movie. I don't see a lot of movies, so I don't really escape for 2 hours very often. So that probably added to the impact it had on me.
Yeah.
Because I just don't get to do it that frequently. And then now I'm back in the theater and I got, you feed me Joker. You know? I don't know. I hope people don't take this the wrong way. Like that I'm trying to, I don't know how people are going to take even what I said here. I'm saying it's an important movie.
It's just a take.
Yeah, I'm saying it's an important movie. I'm saying it's really well done. I'm saying it's an important movie, and I feel like it's the most accurate. It's an accurate representation of the times, of the vibes. That's all I can really. You wanted me to talk about it. It's difficult. I told you it's complicated. It's difficult. It's complicated. It's difficult. We'll see what happens next. But you told me earlier that. Phillips was interviewed as to whether or not Batman would make an appearance in any of his films if he does a follow-up. He said no, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a standalone. That
Oh.
was his intention.
It's a standalone.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no sequel or anything.
No.
All right. Well, if you want to experience 2 hours of chaos, just to inform yourself, and then you go back to life after, this is probably.
Well, beyond chaos, it's also a great movie.
I didn't mean it in a negative way.
technically speaking.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
No.
Experience 2 hours of chaos because it's foreign from your life, because you should understand the
Right.
depth of it, because you don't get to have a taste of 2 hours of chaos in your life. So if everything's wrapped up for you and you think it's simple and everything's wonderful, it's just not for everyone. And this movie exists to showcase to the perfect world that it ain't perfect for everyone. You see what I mean, Will? It's trying to show you, hey, come into this world for a minute, because it is over here. Not to justify any actions that take place for him in the movie, but the movie exists to show you the other side of the coin. Because I guess it's easy to ignore.
Right.
Right? The thing starts out with a garbage strike. A garbage strike.
Yeah.
It's easy to ignore. It's easy to ignore the downtrodden, the people that kind of ignored, avoided by society. Okay? Look, you got me deep in this. It's just, it's a heavy situation. Anyhow, nonetheless, everyone's going to see it. So it broke the records for October. People are interested. If you saw it, I want to hear what you have to say down in the comments. Obviously, this is not open and shut. I'm not trying to put a message out there that's like dictating what it means for the record. It's art. It's open to interpretation. That's what's cool about it. I think this one requires some energy from the viewer to really participate, to really dig in. Yeah. So and maybe that's the message. Dig in. Dig in. If you're going to go for this one, dig in. There's a bit of work in this one.
Yeah.
From the viewer perspective.
I agree.
All right. Well,
yeah.
What do you got? You want to start?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah, you do.
You
got one more. Go for it, Will. I'm not trying to sidetrack your final topic.
I thought we were going to end it with the Joker. But
so I was supposed to go to your topic earlier? Okay, save your topic for next time.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cliffhanger. There you have it. Joker, lots of other stuff. It's heavy. There's a lot going on. Live your life.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.